Hello everyone and welcome to my video. So I decided to go with students that migrate. Um, so in the article it says that it is important to gain trust of migrant workers, especially now since there is a big talk about uh, migrant and immigration on a political level, which is anti-migrant. So straight off the bat, it is going to be very difficult to gain the trust from anyone who do they not know is trying to help them. Many of the children who drop out choose to do so to help their parents work the field, so that way they can have a more financial income come into the household. They choose seeing the immediate gains instead of long-term investment, which can sometimes lead to generations of working the fields. Language barriers and lack of support at home make it difficult for students to become proficient at their grade level. Migrants change location based on crop season of the surrounding states they reside in. So, for example, if someone were to start in Florida, they would migrate to North Carolina or New York, and then just follow, which eventually leads for the child of the migrant families to leave the school that they first started and enter a different one in the middle of the school year, which can really throw off their not just their academic gains, but also their social interaction and their ability to create long-term and meaningful relationships with their peers. According to the Department of Education, there is more than 840,000 immigrant students. Of those, 302,000 children and youth qualify for migrant education services. So, migrant education services provide services such as helping with attaining their GED. It helps those who are considering going to college, or even just providing basic supplemental services such as learning to speak and read and write in English. The program receives their funding from the federal government, but the state decides how its funds are used. My personal experience, I live in the Central Coast in California. The city is called Lompoc, but also its neighboring city is called Santa Maria. There are a lot of field workers that migrate here to work their fields. The biggest community of migrant workers are called Mixtecos, which is it is a community of indigenous people from the region of Oaxaca, Mexico. They do not speak English, they speak Mixtec, which is an unwritten dialect, and which, because there's no written language for Mixtec, there can be a language barrier already from English to Spanish, and then from Spanish to Mixtec, as there is no way to translate in paper the vital information that schools might be wanting to communicate with the families. So a lot of times what ends up happening is they have to outsource their translator, find someone who is actually at a different state who speaks Mixtec, and do a teleconference in person to translate to the parents what is important. Aside from that, just working in the classroom and seeing the students stop attending class because they moved because of having to go where agriculture is booming at the moment is very hard to see after the children who have progressed so much in their education is very difficult, and I can only imagine what it's like for them. So yeah, migrant work and migrant families have a big battle they have to uphill battle that they have to face when it comes, and I feel that providing services on a federal level can help bridge the gap between the inequalities of education and the education gap. Right, thank you.